Hello friends and welcome. So we are going to discuss a very important topic today. Whenever we are dealing with machines or we are interacting and operating machines, have you find that there are different methods to deal with them? In some cases we have to write the commands, and in some cases we have multiple options and we have to select from the given option a list of options, right? And in some cases we simply have to click on an image and all the task is being done or performed by the machine. So these are known to be different interfaces, right? And in this video we are discussing about operating system interfaces. So let's get into the video. Before moving forward, we have to just give a recap to the operating system. An operating system is a program that manages a computer's hardware and software and acts as the foundation for all software programs on the computer. It acts as a bridge between the user and the computer's hardware, making tasks easier for the user. It serves as an interface between you, the user, and your device to coordinate tasks like running program and handling files. So friends, operating system is a type of a program. It is a software that is must for your computer system. Why it is necessary? Because it serves as a bridge or interface, right, between the user and the device. And why we need an interface? As you know that we are humans, and when we are dealing with machines, we don't know their language, they don't know our language. So how it is possible for us to communicate, right, to interact? So operating systems serve as interface between the user and the device to keep the task done. And we have to take the examples. We have MS-DOS, that is Microsoft Disk Operating System, Unix, Microsoft Windows, Mac, that is Macintosh Operating System, Solaris, Palm Operating System. So what is an interface? A program that enables the user to communicate with a computer or a device. Simply, a program that enables the user to communicate with their devices or their computer is interface. That is why on the basis of this thing, we call operating system as an interface. So operating system provides the medium of communication between the computer and the user. And when we talk about interface, so OS provide us three major categories: CLI, MDI, GUI. So the full form of CLI is command line interface, MDI menu driven interface, GUI graphical user interface. So these are the three major interfaces provided by the operating system. Let's get into the detail of each. First we have command line interface. If you can focus, you can find the word command line. So interface in which we can interact with the machine on the basis of command in a form of a line or in a form of a sentence, it is known to be a command line interface. It is one in which user types in commands to make the computer do something. Users required to memorize the commands and they have to be typed correctly. CLI is quicker than GUI but difficult to operate. It only uses a keyboard to navigate by entering commands and does not utilize a mouse for navigating. So command line interface, we have to give the instructions in the form of a command and they must be memorized and typed correctly. So it worked on specific keywords and we have to memorize the keywords, and then we have to arrange the keywords in a proper form that is known to be a syntax. So we have to write the command in a proper syntax, and then the command will work or will perform the task of the user, right? So for this thing it is very difficult because we have to memorize it, we have to write it correctly. And in case of command line interfaces, these are mostly used by the professionals because they have knowledge about the language, they have skills, right? So they can memorize the commands and they know, they have the knowledge about the syntax, so they can write it in the correct form. So mostly command line interfaces are used by the professionals. And in case of command line interface, as we have to write the command, so we need a keyboard to write the command. So we don't need any mouse for navigating, right, for positioning. All we need is a keyboard to get the task done. And if we have to take the example, we have DOS, that is disk operating system, and Unix. And friends, for DOS was the first command line operating system that was installed in our computer. It is a black screen where you have to write the commands and the task will perform accordingly. And nowadays in our computer system, the DOS is, you can say, the command prompt served as DOS. So we have command prompt. We can use the command prompt if we want to perform the task on the basis of commands in our computer system. Here is a demonstration of how command line interface appears. So we have a black screen. All we have to perform is write a command in a proper syntax and then the task will be done. Heading toward the next one, we have menu driven interface. So here is the word menu, and we are very familiar with menu. Menu is a list of some different items, some different, you can say, categories, some different tasks. So menu driven interface is a specific interface where we have given the list of the tasks that can be performed by a machine, and we have to select the specific task that we want to be done. As its name indicates, that a software program that operates on a file menus instead of command lines. On screen, MDIs provide menus as means of entering commands. Menus contains list of options on the navigated by choosing options from list. It shows all the options available at given point in a form of text-based menu commands. Right? So in menu driven interface, all we have is a menu which contains a list of the tasks that can be performed by this specific machine, and all we need to do is select that specific task from the menu and it can be done, right? So here we don't have to memorize the command, we don't have to go for the right syntax. So like in previous, we were discussing about command line interface. Because of the simplicity, because we don't have to memorize it, we don't have to write it correctly, these are used in walk-up and use system. And if I have to take an example of walk-up and use system, like we have ATMs. We all know how to use an ATM. We have to swipe the card, then there is a certain menu appears on our screen. We have to select from the menu and our task will be done, transaction will be done. And similar go for the information booths. And I have to quote an example of the menu driven interface. Here I have novel netware. It is a demonstration of how menu driven interface appears. As you can see, there are different options available on the screen. We have home, links, uploads, accounts, right? So we can just choose the option according to our need and the task will be performed. Heading toward the last one in this category, that is graphical user interface. For graphical user interface, you can see the word graphic. Graphic is picture, it can be icon, it can be image, it can be symbol. So an interface in which we can interact with the help of graphic is under the term graphical user interface, also known as WIMP interface. So what is WIMP interface? An interface that contains windows, icons, menus, and pointers. So as I'm using Windows, right? So this is how it appears. I have multiple, you can say there are multiple windows that are open. Then we have different icons, there are symbols, right? And this is the pointer, right? So we have multiple things in our graphical user interface. So this is a pointer for navigation and selection. Then an interface where each and every object is represented by small graphic pictures or symbol. It is user-friendly interface. Friends, this is very user-friendly. Why we're saying that user-friendly? In case of, if I have to compare the previous ones, in case of CLI, it is mostly used by the professionals. They know how to write the commands. They know they first have to memorize the commands, so they need reading skills. They need a proper grip on the commands of the language, right? Then we move toward the menu based. So menu driven interface, it still requires the reading ability. But when we are talking about graphical user interface, it is so human friendly, user friendly that we don't have to even read it. It simply operates on the basis of graphics. That is why a 2-year-old kid is able to use the device or the machine like our smartphones, and a 90-year-old person can use the same, right? In case they have to just you can say recognize or realize the specific image, right? All they have to perform is on the basis of graphics and images. So this is how it is such user friendly interface. That is why our kids are now very much familiar how to use the smartphone. All they have is the recognition of specific images. They know how to open a YouTube, and they even know how to go to the shorts. So they are operating the mobile phone, or you can say a smartphone, very easily because of this graphical user interface. The graphical representation of commands is much easier to understand and use. So here are the examples of graphical user interface. We have Macintosh. The short form for Macintosh is Mac. That are for your Mac computer, that is Macintosh computers, right? PCs, laptops. Then we have Linux and Windows. Friends, Windows and Linux are similar. They have same desktops, they have multiple icons, they have the functionalities. The only major difference between Unix and Windows is that Windows is a copyrighted software. We have to purchase it, and in case of Linux, it is open source, freely available software. And here is a demonstration of graphical user interface, and I know you all are very familiar with icons. This is for weather, this is for music, this is for phone, this is for message, this is for cart shopping. Then we have media players, we have chat messages, we have gallery. So this is how easier it is on the basis of graphics. And I'm going to give a demonstration of how these interfaces work, right? So first we have the demonstration for the graphical user interface. And friends, as I'm using Windows, so this is my graphical user interface. All I have different windows over here. So let's take an example and let it perform by both the ways, that is using graphical user interface and using the command line interface. So first, going with the graphical user interface, here I have the file manager, and here I am on the desktop, right? So let's see, I have a file and I have to copy it. First I have to go into the specific drive, that is C drive, right? So I am in C drive, and here I have a folder that is users, and in user I have computer arena, and here I have a file that is known to be figures. So if you can see, observe this, I first go to the specific drive, then the folder, subfolder, and then I find the required file that I need to copy. So I am copying this file from here. Then I have to move back to the destination drive. So let's see, I am going to copy it on drive D, and there are multiple options, subfolder. Let me copy it here. So I am going to copy this over here. So if you can observe these actions performed by me right now, I first go to the specific drive, the folder, subfolder, then find the file and then copy it, and coming toward the destination drive, and I have to paste it. So it required a lot of clicking and time. So let's perform the same task with the help of a command line interface. For this, as I have mentioned, nowadays we have command prompt in our computer, right? So let me find command prompt. Here is the command prompt. Let me open this. Here is the screen. This is the command prompt, friend. So let that same task be performed with the help of a CLI interface. Now you can see in drive C, in users and computer arena, that was the same destination where my file was. And if you don't know the file, or if you don't know where it is, simply we can search it with the help of a dir command, that is directory command. All we have to do is write a dir command and press the enter key. It will show all the folders or the files in the specific drive. So here I find that my file is in this specific folder. All I need to do is using a keyword, that is copy. Then I have to give the name of the file, that is figures, and along with its extension. And you can see here is the extension, it is a document, so it is docs extension, right? And then I have to mention the drive where I want to copy this file, and that is the drive D, and I have to place a colon, and when I will press enter, you can see the message one file copied. And if you want to find that it is being done, you can see the figures over here on my screen. So it was pretty simple, that all I have to do is write a simple command that was copy the name of the specific file with its extension and the drive, and with pressing enter key it was done. So it was quickest. That is why we say that our CLI systems are much quicker than the GUI systems, right? This was it, friends. I hope you understand, and with them demonstrating the difference between CLI and GUI, how the CLI is quicker, I hope you understand the concept very well, and I hope you do like the video. And don't forget to subscribe my channel, because we are going to discuss more such informative topics in this channel. So we are meeting in the next video. Till then, take good care.